What's up, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. And today we are joined once again. Listen, this is not the case at all. He's definitely not running for governor of Ohio. I know that for sure. I mean, he'll tell you in a moment that he's definitely not going to do that. Give it up for Vivek Ramaswamy. He's back on the pod.
How are you, brother?
Definitely not going to be the governor of Ohio, right?
No.
People loved you in Ohio, man. And this guy's coming. He'll bring the comedians, first the comedians, and then the industry.
He's going to save the cats and dogs, man.
Alex, already?
Everybody. All forms of life.
Yes, all forms of life.
I'm pro-life.
Okay. So there's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things going on.
I need to know about Doge. What happened? You're on this podcast. You give us this beautiful soliloquy about the managerial class. We're moved. And it was so important that I was like, I need you to break it down dumb. Obviously, you're a very smart guy. So I was like,
you guys say that, break it down dumb, but I know you're into the center of it. I remember that conversation.
6th grade.
I'm a moron.
We're 6th graders.
I'll tell you, if you can't explain it to a 6th grader, it means you don't understand it yourself.
That's what Epstein said.
That was quick, yo. Okay. Get it ready. Okay, so
I see you just deliver this amazing thing. It's crazy on Twitter. Everybody's like, you got it.
Then after we met, where one of the core chapters was about dismantling the administrative state. And so this is my passion.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All of a sudden, Trump announces that you and Elon are running Doge.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I'm like, finally, this is going to happen. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you say you hate American workers or something.
Come on. I didn't say that.
No. He said they were too dumb.
There's none of the above. But we need to light a fire under. We can talk a lot about
we're going to talk about
light
that.
a fire under our feet.
We're going to talk about that in a second. But no. So what happened? And now you're leaving Doge on the precipice of actually cleaning up the government, getting the managerial class out of there, fixing everything.
We got a good head start, by the way, in the 2 months leading up to inauguration.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the high level. There's the short story and long story. I can give you the short story for sure. And the short story, both are accurate, but the short story I can give you. The short story is it evolved from a focus on where I was focused, legal, constitutional issues, legislative issues of, if you want to save a lot of money, you got to do it through legislation. If you want to look at the Supreme Court landscape for the last few years, it says a lot of these regulations are unconstitutional. That's where I had been focused. And, the way it's gotten started, and you could see this publicly as well, is much more of a technology and digital technology focus.
Okay, so just slow down for a second.
Yeah.
So you were going to use the Constitution to remove legislation.
Well, to remove regulations.
Sorry,
regulations. Yeah.
So you're going to use legislation to remove regulations.
And I've written about this for the last year, right? So
can you give an example of that?
Yeah, I can give a good example of that. So, not to get too academic too quickly, but basically, Congress is supposed to pass the laws, and the executive branch is supposed to enforce the laws. But it turns out that most of the laws that decide what you can and can't do in your life were actually never passed by Congress. They were passed by people who were never elected to their position.
The managerial
class, the bureaucrats in D.C.
What's a law? Give me an example.
Yeah, so they don't call laws, they call them rules, but they have the effect of laws.
Right.
Let's say the amount of fees that fishermen have to pay to the government to have a license to be able to fish in a particular area. Let's say it is the registration requirement before a bank or an asset manager is allowed to do business. Let's say it is the procedural hoop that a biotech company has to jump through before advancing from phase 1 to phase 2 of the development process. Let's say it's the permission that a coal miner or a nuclear energy plant has to get as permission from the government before they build a new nuclear energy plant, which, by the way, has not happened in 20 years in this country because the red tape associated with doing so is so impossible.
Now, I imagine
none of those were passed by Congress.
Yes.
None of those were passed by people that we, the people, elected.
Right.
They were written into law. They call them rules, but effectively into law by unelected bureaucrats.
Right.
And the thing is, that's not a democracy, right? It might be something else, but it's not a democracy because in a democracy, if somebody makes a law that affects you, you get to vote them out. That's what it makes a law. These are more like edicts.
Yeah.
Right? Edicts come from a king because you can't vote him out. This doesn't come from a king, but it's a new kind of edict of a bureaucracy.
So just so I can understand,
that was the problem.
You're not against regulation as long as it's decided by democratically elected officials.
That's my most foundational principle. It so happens in my own politics, I'm generally pretty libertarian.